Have you ever wanted to request an open record? Are you interested in results of elections? Or would you like to know what's on the next council agenda? Well, joining me today in the studio is our city clerk, Vicki Acker. Vicki, welcome to the program today.
Glad to be here.
Now, Vicki, you've been city clerk now for how many years with us?
Since September 2014.
Since 2014.
Mm-hmm.
So you were positioned and kind of groomed into that spot with our former city clerk, is that correct?
That is correct.
And before that, you were the
executive assistant to the city managers.
To our former city manager. So you know a little bit about what happens at City Hall, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, tell us about a little bit of your background first before we jump into where you are here at City Hall.
Okay. My background is I was an administrative assistant for the Coca-Cola Company for many years, over 23 years actually. And then I was an office manager for a drilling company for about 4 years. And then I did work at home for, it was a company that takes telephone calls for different businesses.
So it's just some
customer service.
Customer service, okay, at home. And
yes.
We won't tell everybody in your PJs or anything like that, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well, here at City Hall, though, I opened up with some of the things that the Office of City Clerk handles.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give our viewers, and if you would just share with us here, what are the many tasks that you handle on a day-to-day operation?
I put it like my predecessor always said. She said, we are the chief clerical employee.
There you are.
We keep up with all of the records of the city, and we schedule, put all the agenda items on the agenda for the council meetings, keep up with all of the ordinances, resolutions, agreements, contracts of that nature, interact with the mayor and council on anything that they may need, whether they're traveling and need assistance with their logistics, handle that.
Mm-hmm. So the administrative side there, right. So record retention for all contracts, all vital pieces of documentation and everything. And that record retention is state mandated as far as what that requirements are for.
As of 2014, we, the city of Douglasville, began to incorporate and to follow the state retention schedule. So my department handles making sure that every department within the city
enforce that.
I enforce it so that they can comply to the state mandate.
Now, why is that important?
Because there's a time that's set on when records are to be kept, and for instance, contracts may be 10 years, maybe 7 years.
Okay.
And so that way, you have your system cleaned out, and you don't keep things that are beyond that retention schedule.
And I guess it probably also makes it very more organized
and
easy for the fact of open records requests.
It does. It does.
Tell our viewing audience about open records.
Okay, the open records
process.
Yes, the process is there's a form that's on our website that you can fill out, and you can request any kind of open records. Now, there are some things that may have to be redacted that cannot be, given to the public.
Okay.
But all records of the city are subject to open records.
All right.
Anything that deals with our employees or,
the
our
city business.
Our mayor, council,
Right.
But you fill out that form, and within 3 days I am to respond to you. That does not mean that your records may be given to you at that time, but I will let you know when they are an estimated time of when they will be available to you.
Okay. And that's when we get the call from Vicki's office or the email that says, hey, I need this information, and you give us the guidelines. And we have to comply and abide by that in order for you to fulfill that.
Fulfill that open records. And sometimes there is a cost, and sometimes if we can send it to you electronically, there is not a cost.
Okay.
But if we have to scan it or we have to print it out physically, then there is a cost, and that would be the cost of 10 cents per page and the cost of whoever prepared it, their time, but minus 15 minutes. Your first 15 minutes of research for that person is free. So, you know, if it took an hour, you would only pay for the 45 minutes.
Okay. And then your office also handles the elections. We just recently went through a new election cycle, so that is, I guess, pretty involved for yourself as well.
It is. During the election, you have to go. The candidates have to go through qualifying. So that's the first step, and our office handles that. Our office handles getting all their ethic forms to the Ethics Commission in Atlanta. So I have to keep up with their forms that they've turned in, and I have to e-file them, e-fax them to the Ethics Commission.
Okay. And while those may be open records and the elections may be on a less periodic basis, there is one thing that you do on a very regular basis, and that is the agenda for our council meetings, our committee and council meetings for mayor and council, and as well as our city manager. Yes,
because we have meetings the first and third Monday, and that Thursday prior we have a legislative work session, and sometimes before those meetings we have a committee meetings.
Right.
So yes, I prepare the agendas for all of those meetings.
And we are on a paperless system with our mayor and council. So we know we have our deadlines. As in staff meeting each week, you help remind us of our deadlines for the upcoming set of meetings. Because that process is you try to take the agenda item first to committee so that it can be discussed among the council.
Right.
That they get the information, any supporting documentation you try to encourage us to have to provide for that attachment. And then it goes to the legislative work session in the formal setting, I guess, as council, and then the Monday night voting session.
Correct.
For that item. Well, what other things might be on the horizon in the city clerk's office?
Well, one very special and important thing is that I will be getting an executive assistant to assist me with all of the duties, and so that's going to be great, especially with the open records, the turnaround time, and getting that information back to requesters. All
right. So I know that's long overdue help that area and administrative area has needed, so congratulations. And I know you can't wait to probably get the interview process rolling and someone in to help you out.
Yes, and another important thing that happened this year was the scanning of all of our agreements and contracts. So they're paperless now. We're going to a paperless system with that so that we can keep up with them and have more record for anyone in the mayor or council that can be able to get to it, or our supervisors.
So ease of access through the digital process and storage. Is that kind of like an e-fish type process?
It's laserfish.
Laserfish, okay. Well, it was microfish in my day, so how we have evolved. But, well, Vicki, you always have a beautiful smiling face around City Hall. You're always very pleasant to work with. You greet everyone. And we just thank you for letting our audience meet City Hall and Vicki Acker, our city clerk.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us today on Meet City Hall.